What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about in today's video. The Yankees, they suffered their worst loss over the last few years. We'll talk about how bad it was. The Mariners and the Blue Jays faced off in a heavyweight matchup, and it came down to the wire. Ohtani and Bellinger both hit their 7th home runs of the season, but only one of those guys got a W yesterday. And the Phillies, they're going for a sweep in a revenge series against the Astros. Remember, everyone, if you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. And remember to hit that subscribe button as well, because we post these recaps every single day. You don't want to miss them. Here we go. The first game from yesterday, the A's faced off against the Reds. Brent Rooker has been Mark McGwire Jr. to begin the season, and he got on base early for Jesus Aguilar, who left everything. That 430-foot two-run shot was his 5th of the year. He has a 133 OPS plus on the year. Nick Senzel and Brent Rooker, they traded home runs. Senzel has 2 home runs and 9 RBIs over his last 6 games, and Brent Rooker, he's always had pretty good pop. He had 20 plus home runs a couple different times in the minors, but this kind of production is different. Brent Rooker is hitting .353 with 9 home runs, 22 RBIs, and he leads the American League in slugging and OPS. He later tied it in the 7th on a sac fly after Cincinnati momentarily stole the lead. The A's, they just need one tiny little run to walk this thing off and rejoice. The A's have won a ball game. Esteury Ruiz, he walks it off, his 11th RBI, so he has 11 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. That 11 stolen bases is the best in the American League. So the A's, they get the W, but they do end up extending their MLB record. 0 starting pitcher wins through their first 29 games. The White Sox and the Rays, one of the most insane games that you'll see all year. It happened in the south side of Chicago. Mike Clevenger, he was decent yesterday. He struck out 8 Tampa Bay Rays over 5 innings, but he desperately needed his offense to step up. Yasmani Grandal, he got it going in the 6th. That 2-run bomb was massive for Chicago because they immediately got pummeled for a 5 spot in the 8th, yet again setting the White Sox up for an epic choke job. All of the fans basically left because it was cold, the weather wasn't great, and they just saw their team give up another lead, so they did not want to stick around for the rest of it, which kind of sucks because they missed out on a 9th inning comeback for the ages. We rarely see stuff like this happen. Jake Berger, he started the rally with an RBI double, and Elvis Andrus, he teamed up with Adam Hazley to tie it up at 9 runs apiece, and if anyone was going to complete this comeback, it was going to be Andrew Vaughn. Listen, I know that Jose Abreu was a face of the franchise for a long time, but the White Sox do not miss him at all right now. Andrew Vaughn, that walk-off gives him 20 RBIs on the season to go along with an almost 120 OPS plus. Jose Abreu has 0 home runs, a 50 OPS plus, and a negative 0.7 WAR. Either way, good for Andrew Vaughn because he's winning the breakup. If you guys don't have popcorn or a fun beverage for the next few games, you might want to go get some. With a single swing, the Mariners went up 4-0 in the 1st inning. Good for Taylor Trammell, who has had the definition of a roller coaster start to his career. He's been traded a few times. He's been sent down to the minors multiple times, but he's going to be huge now that J-Rod is banged up, and hopefully Trammell can get some reps in there and actually put up some good numbers. The Blue Jays offense, though, they looked at that grand slam and said, ha, that's cute, as Matt Chapman laced a 2-run double off of Marco Gonzalez, and oh my, Bo Bichette, he's got to be in the conversation as one of the most talented offensive infielders ever. I'm serious. 460 feet, he has 6 home runs, and yet again, he is leading all of baseball in base hits. He did it in 2021, and he did it in 2022, or maybe he's leading in the American League. Either way, he's got a ton of base hits all over it again. Toronto, they went up 8-4 when Teoscar Hernandez and the Mariners had enough of getting bullied, and they started throwing haymakers. Teo has 7 home runs, and Cal Raleigh, he's got to be the most hated / most feared man in all of Canada right now. JP Crawford clutched all the way up and tied it in the 9th inning, and there's no way he did it again. Cal Raleigh is a straight-up offensive juggernaut as a catcher. He has 32 home runs and a 121 OPS plus over his last 143 games. Matt Brash, he came in for the save. He struck out 2. So the Mariners are just 5 games back of the Rangers. I say just 5 games back, but they have been playing a little bit better as of late. Just kidding. The Mariners are 4-6 over their last 10 games. I just lied to all of you. I'm sorry. But again, it's still a big win regardless. Now, because we just talked about the Mariners being 5 games back of the Rangers, let's talk about the Rangers putting the New York Yankees in a body bag again for the 2nd game in a row. I actually bet the Yankees money line in this one because I thought, no way the Yankees get embarrassed in back-to-back games. I couldn't have been more wrong. Josh Young, he put me in my place real quick and reminded me that the Rangers are a top 3 offense even without Corey Seager. All of that is because Nathaniel Lowe is a quiet superstar. His 4th home run of the season. He has 31 home runs dating back to last year, and you would just never know it. Adolis Garcia makes it back-to-back, and Jonah Heim is honestly making a case to be in the top 5 catcher conversation. Call it glazing, call it whatever you want. He has 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, RBIs and a stupid 170 OPS plus. He came to Texas from Oakland in the Elvis Andrus 2021 trade. Go figure. He doubled in 2 more in the 6th to give him 22 RBIs. And then there's rookie Ezekiel Duran, who's on fire. He's hitting 375 over the last 2 weeks as Texas, they complete their demolition job by a tune of 15-2. And the Yankees, they fall to last place in the AL East, which isn't the worst thing in the world because the 2023 AL East might be the greatest division in the history of sports. Everyone might win 95 games. The Padres and the Giants, one day after both teams combined for 11 home runs in Game 1 at Mexico City, the automatic home run cheat code continued into Game number 2. The first 3 runs were all scored via the long ball. That one for Mitch Haniger was estimated at 460 feet, so I think that one would have been gone regardless. We fast forward to the 5th where San Diego is down 5-zip. Well, now it's 5-2 after Austin Nola had a 2-run moonshot. That one was 440 feet, easily the longest of his career. I mean, he beat his career best by 20 feet because this stadium is just not fair. Juan Soto, he has been a little bit better as of late. He brought home Fernando Tatis Jr. San Diego, they still need some more help, and they got it from Jake Cronenworth, who ties it on a single to score Juan Soto. Matt Carpenter, he sealed it with a punch to the gut 2-run double right after. Josh Hader, he trotted out there. He nailed down an easy 1-2-3 ninth inning on just 10 pitches. 1 pitch for every single save he has this year, 10 saves. So the Padres sweep the Mexico City series, and my thoughts are it was fun to watch, but again, I feel bad for the pitchers. That's my synopsis. The Angels and the Brewers, if you had Jose Suarez morphing into Sandy Koufax on the final day of April of 2023, well, congrats, because I for sure did not have that. But first, I got to show this home run from Jake Lamb, a name I have not heard in a long time. Shout out if you know what movie I'm referencing. Look at that sweet prince go. Ohtani, he is the first player in baseball, I believe, on Baseball Reference to a 2 WAR. He has 7 home runs, 5 stolen bases, a 144 OPS plus to go along with a 1.85 ERA. The dude is a complete unicorn. That baseball was in the air for 7 seconds. He hit it 162 feet up in the air. Jose Suarez, he struck out 6 Brewer hitters over 5 shutout. He only allowed 2 base hits, and the Angels staff as a whole, they threw 9 shutout innings, only allowed 3 base hits. That's a massive win if you're asking me, because Matt Moore and Carlos Estevez just continue to prove that they are going to lock down the 8th and 9th innings. I don't want to jinx it. I am knocking on wood, but Estevez now has 6 saves and a 1.32 ERA. Matt Moore has been absolutely incredible out the pen as well. Cleveland versus Boston. The lefties were out in this one with Chris Sale going for the Boston Red Sox and rookie Logan T. Allen going for the Guardians. They were both shredding through the first 4 innings. Sale had his most efficient start in quite some time, while Logan Allen, he made some MLB history, becoming just the 4th pitcher ever to have 2 consecutive starts to begin his career with 2 earned runs or less and 8 strikeouts in both of those starts. Those 2 runs came on 1 swing from Alex Verdugo, who is honestly playing like a star. He's hitting .310 with 10 extra base hits, 16 RBIs, and insane defense out in the outfield. Connor Wong, he won't stop raking either. That 2-run bomb was his first home run of the year, but he's hitting .346 with an almost 900 OPS over the last 2 weeks. He's also elite at throwing out base runners, and he's the 3rd fastest catcher in baseball, just behind JT Realmuto and Shea Langoliers. I did not know that Shea was that fast. Now, remember how I said Verdugo had 10 extra base hits? We'll make it 11 extra base hits, 17 RBIs. Chris Sale, he struck out 5, allowed just 1 earned run on 98 pitches. Arroyo, he put the exclamation point on this one against his former team on a 2-run double. The Red Sox win easy 7-1. If Baltimore can win this last game versus the Tigers, they'll be winners of 6 straight series. The Ryans, they stepped up early in this one as Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle, they drove in 2, and Adam Frazier, he has 3 home runs on the year now, which is crazy because he had 3 home runs all of last year for the Mariners. It took him 156 games last year to hit 3, only 28 games this year. Kyle Bradish, he was cooking until the 5th when Jake Rogers and Javier Baez, they made things interesting by cutting it to a 1-run deficit, but then they had to face the 2 monsters. Jorge Mateo, he has 6 home runs. He might be the best shortstop in baseball this year. Not talking about in general, but to begin this year, I mean, right now, Jorge Mateo is in that conversation with Wander Franco and a few other guys in baseball. Yennier Cano might be the most underrated relief pitcher in MLB right now. He's pitched 11 perfect innings to begin 2023. You heard that right. He's faced 33 hitters. He's gotten 33 outs. The back end of that Baltimore bullpen just is not fun to face right now, considering when Felix Bautista is getting a day off, you have to face Cano, who has been perfect through 11 innings. Kansas City versus Minnesota. Hello, Byron. I would like you to meet my friend Third Deck. He's a little shy because he doesn't talk to many people. I mean, I don't know what that transition was, but all I'm trying to say is Byron Buxton went 455 feet to the third deck. Not many people have reached that outside of a home run derby. Buxton, he's got to be in the conversation for some some of the best raw tools we have ever seen from a positional player. There are 3 more singles in the third from Nick Gordon, Willie Castro, and Christian Vasquez to put Minnesota up by 8, and with Sonny Gray on the bump, yeah, that was just bad news and a bad combination for Kansas City. He threw 6 more very efficient innings, striking out 7 on his way to lowering his season ERA to 0.77. So actually, he raised his ERA, went from 0.64 to 0.77 because he gave up a run. I'll have to admit, as a Cleveland fan, I'm afraid of Minnesota. They are 11th in runs scored as an offense and 6th in team ERA. They're 17-12, even though Pablo Lopez and Kenta Maeda forgot how to throw baseballs the last 2 weeks. As much fun as I've had this year watching the Pirates win game after game, seeing them lose yesterday was kind of fun as well. Not because I think that the Pirates deserve to take the L, but because I'm so happy for this Josiah Gray kid. His offense is finally stepping up for him. Candelario, he ripped it open on a 2-run double, and it ended up 5-0 after Luis Garcia and Joey Meneses brought home 3 more in the second. So like we hinted at earlier, all of that run support was for Josiah Gray, who has been dominant over his last few starts. If you do not remember, he came over to Washington with Keibert Ruiz and the Max Scherzer and Trey Turner deal. So honestly, there's a lot of pressure on both Ruiz and Gray to perform like stars. Josiah Gray struck out 6 over 6, allowed just 1 earned run to a red-hot Pirates team that just completely embarrassed them 24 hours prior. Josiah has a 1.57 ERA over his last 5 starts. You love to see it. The Nationals win easy 7-2 over the first-place Pirates. The Dodgers and the Cardinals, we're going to skip to the 4th because LA got their first few runs on RBI groundouts, and I'm just really not interested in wasting my time and downloading boring clips like that. There we go. Thank you, Chris Taylor. That RBI double was his first extra base hit that was not a home run. He's hitting 286 over his last 5 starts, which brings his season batting average to 167. He has been awful, but luckily as of late, he's looking better. Noah Syndergaard, he gave up the lead right after, and to be honest, this guy looks completely washed up. I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, he gets the W because his lineup is that good. I'll show the rest of the scoring as I talk about Thor. Noah Syndergaard, he has a 6.32 ERA and a 6 strikeouts per 9. He is allowing almost 12 hits per 9 innings. The fastball just ain't there anymore as he's bottom 19% in fastball velocity and spin. Maybe he'll get better and stronger as the season progresses. Evan Phillips, he was back in there. He locked down his 3rd save of the season. The Dodgers have won 3 in a row now as the Cardinals, they got swept. The Phillies are trying to sweep the Astros in a payback series from the 2022 World Series. JT Realmuto, he is hitting .421 over his last 5 games after that home run in the second, his 3rd of the season. The machete, though, Martin Maldonado, he whacked a go-ahead RBI double in the bottom half of the second, and Jake Myers, he sent one almost 410 feet. Jake Myers is top 4% in speed, and he has 2 outs above average already in the outfield, so he is just a defensive wizard and a god on the bases. So any power production from him is icing on the cake. Kyle Tucker, he singled in Alex Bregman to basically knock Bailey Falter out the game. Now, staying with Tucker, he basically got Falco punched in the noggin on an all-around terrible play because Jake Myers actually interfered with JT Realmuto, and the umpire just didn't see it. So again, JT Realmuto got interfered on, and then Tucker dove headfirst and must have thought that he was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl because he got smacked in the face by Bryson Stott. It wasn't on purpose, and thankfully, he's okay. The Astros, they went 4-3 after Ryan Presley came in. He grabbed his 3rd save of the year. He started off really slow, but he's looking way better lately. The Rockies and the Diamondbacks, CJ Cron loves hitting at Coors Field. Just kidding, that's actually propaganda. I lied to you. He has 6 home runs on the season, but 4 of them have come on the road. He's been a little bit better on the road. Mike Moustakas, he singled in another as Colorado ended up with 6 runs for their starting pitcher Austin Gomber. And shout out Austin, man. We have talked so much crap about him because he was kind of the front piece of the Nolan Arenado trade, and he has been absolutely horrific, but he showed out versus the Diamondbacks. Honestly, probably the best start of his career so far. He went 6 innings with 4 strikeouts, allowed just 3 base hits. The Rockies offense popped off again as 6 different Rockies hitters left with an RBI off of Arizona's pitching staff. And I hate to say this though, but like, it all kind of seems pointless. I don't know what the plan is for Colorado because they have huge games like this every so often, but they're 9-20. The farm system is hitting heavy and they don't need more hitters. So unless they spend big on free agent pitchers, which is never going to happen because free agent pitchers avoid Colorado like the plague, I just kind of feel bad for Rockies fans because I don't know what the future holds. I genuinely don't. Miami and Chicago, Dansby Swanson struck early against Miami starter Brian Hoeing, but Miami punched back in the bottom of the 3rd as Luis Arraez stole the lead. He had a 2 RBI day. More on him in just a second because Garrett Hampson, he doubled in the 3rd run after Chicago tied it on a Bellinger sac fly. Speaking of Belly, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you 2019 Cody Bellinger live in the flesh. His 7th home run of the year gave Chicago the lead again. He's hitting .297 with a 163 OPS plus, 4 stolen bases. He's back to being a 5-tool megastar, knocking on wood so I don't jinx it. Luckily, Miami, they have a contact machine in Luis Ariz because his 8th inning sac fly put the Marlins back up by 1, and AJ Puck, he's been a monster. 5 saves, a 0.75 ERA. The Marlins, out of nowhere, are on a 4-game winning streak. Do not go anywhere. We're going to show the web gems in just a second, but that does it for me. Thank you guys for watching until the end if you did. Do not forget to leave a like and subscribe because we post these every single day. And like I said, enjoy the web gems.
The pop fly down the right field line. Laureano in foul territory makes the catch for the out. And challenging is Stevenson. They have him by 20 feet. He's out at third.
And a bunt. Pop up. Oh, a diving catch. What a play by Austin Hedges by the veteran catcher. That's what we're talking about.
In the air to deep left field. De La Cruz makes the catch.
Swanson's been making great contact all day. 2 base hits to right field, and then pulling this one to left.
That one on the ground by first into right field, a base hit. Garcia up with it. They'll send LeMahieu. Here comes the throw. Got him! 4th outfield assist of the year for Adolis Garcia.
Good start. He rips that one to the right side. Diving play. And the throw to first. Excellent effort by Donovan to hold the bag. How did he catch that?
Line to left. Oh, man, almost